Hey y'all, Jesse Petersen here with Let's Make Art. I'm a mixed media artist and I love art journaling, and I have a fun project for you today, and it looks like this.
Oh.
Thanks, Keenan.
You're welcome.
He's our cheerleader, cameraman, all the things.
Yeah. Butterfly
Enthusiast.
expert.
What?
No.
What?
Huh? I don't.
Okay. All right, so we've been working in the theme of transformation, and what a better way to symbolize transformation than a butterfly. So let's talk about the supplies we're going to use for this. We are going to use black gesso, which is super fun. This Dina Wakley paint Ruby. And then we're going to use this Dilutions paint in crushed grape. We can't resist continuing to use this Zig clean color dot pen. It's metallic silver. And then it'll be nice to have a pencil around, round 8 brush, black pen for our journaling, and graphite paper. And then the outline that we're using for this. Now we've been cutting it out and using it for other projects, but we're going to use this butterfly on that one. So those are the supplies you want to have handy before we get started. And a rusty clip is nice to have around as well. Okay, and then we can talk about our prompt, which is called Transform. Butterflies are a symbol of change, joy, and hope. The butterfly is truly a powerful symbol of transformation. Their life cycle includes a stage of dormancy in a cocoon, and it breaks out as an entirely new form. To witness the way they flit and flutter around is delicate and beautiful. Whether you're starting a new chapter of life and facing a daunting new beginning, or you're amidst a great change already, look to the butterfly and ponder its flight and the joy that its transformation symbolizes. Now, it's no secret that I kind of like butterflies, and a lot of our collage paper that I've made have a little butterfly in there somewhere or whatever, and it really is because I like the idea of butterflies being a symbol of change and this like great transformation. I mean, they go from this caterpillar to this butterfly. It's just amazing.
Big beautiful butterfly.
Yes. And I just think it's so cool. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And we're gonna take a deep breath because I'm already like excited.
Okay.
Now, if you couldn't hear yourself breathing out, then do it again, because I really want. Nice, Keenan. Thank you for your enthusiasm. I just think it's good to just like kind of center ourselves before we start making art. Sometimes we like want to make art and it takes some effort to set aside some time, and then it's like, this is going to be awesome and I only have this amount of time, and like you get all stressed out about it, and then it isn't the thing that we're hoping for, which is like this mindful art moment, right? So we just got to like get into the moment.
Art Zen.
Yeah, that could be our intention today.
Art Zen.
Let's try
acquired.
to be Zen about our approach with art today. Thanks, Keenan. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to start with our journal. Let's grab I get the right journal here. Okay. I was like, we've done some projects in this, so this is the right one. And this journal is all bendy windy, so it's gonna like push it back.
Old bendy windy.
Old bendy windy. All right. Okay. And get our. It's funny that I taped that back on there. Whatever. We're going to trace half our butterfly, and you can just kind of line up your butterfly dude in the ditch of your journal if you want. And this one might be a good one to do, like, you know, the middle of your journal if you want it to be on that one. The thread in the middle might be thing. So maybe, you know, you can decide what you want to do. I'm gonna do it right here. I think I like that. It's a good spot, and it's easy to center it. I was gonna like kind of do it over here, and then I was like, no, it'll be easy for them to center if we just put it right in the middle.
Convenient middle.
Yes. We gotta get our graphite paper. If you're doing this for project first and you don't know where your graphite paper is, it's in the Let's Make Art Matter postcard in between there. And this is one that you want to make sure, okay, oh, also you want to have the shiny side down on your paper. So I'm just gonna actually, I'm gonna use this extra piece of paper over here because I don't want that smudgy graphite paper on my other side of my page. We talked about that last time, so same thing. Then we can line that up how we want it, like that. Then we can put our graphite paper just on this side, even. So then maybe we didn't even need that paper. Whatever, you do you. And then you want to secure it in place with some tape, and you can do that with painter's tape. You can do that with washi tape. I'm using this Holbein tape that's in the studio, and we have that on our website if you're wanting some good tape there. Okay, I'm feeling good about that placement. I just love this butterfly, and I saw the coolest. Well, it's not a butterfly, it's a Luna moth. Just in the parking lot. It already had lived its life, and it was delicate and beautiful, and it was just so cool to be able to see that up close and notice all the little details. And it was like that neon kind of green color.
That's super cool. You don't see those very often.
I've only seen pictures of them. That was the first time I've seen one in real life, and the fact that I got to see it so like close and intimate was really neat.
Yeah.
Okay, I am going to use my pencil to trace this. I'm just gonna go for it. Okay, I just did 1/2 that butterfly. I'm not gonna do his antennas because I think that would be fun to add later, or if you don't want them to be there, then you don't have to do it at all. And just like I was saying, I was looking at that Luna moth. You could trace this how you want to do it, like this, or you could like make it your own. You could change the shape. You could look at other different butterflies that have different wing sizes and shapes and just go for it. But
You
let's
could
see.
combine 2 different butterflies.
Oh yeah,
That'd be sweet.
that's looking good. Wow, this is all crazy over here. Okay, give my clip back. It's wrestling everything over there. All right, let's get this out of the way. Oh, and before we get started, so this is what we're gonna do today, but I wanted to show you that like, I don't make these projects like perfect the first time, and I'm inspired by different things and I try new things. So I just wanted to show you like I did this and I had a good time playing around with that, and then I realized that I wrote it's twice, whatever. It's time for you to bloom. It's you know, really thinking about that.
I love this page.
And maybe I'll talk to you guys more about like, I mean, if you think it's cool, how to take some mistake like that and like keep going with it, because I stopped, but we could keep going with this and make it cool. I also like explored the idea of doing some collage paper on there. This was really like what I wanted to do. And then I realized that if I was teaching you guys about painting over that, if it's already collage, then the wet paint might reconstitute the yes paste, which is okay, because after a minute, you know, if you smooth it out and dry it, it's okay. So you can totally do that. You can try using that collage paper and expanding it that way. I did, however, make this value a little bit darker than I wanted to. And so on the second try, I was like, I'm gonna try to make that lighter because I wanted the journaling to pop more. And I saw all these really cool ideas on a blog, and it was mostly like how to do really cool butterfly layouts in your bullet journal. And they had all these different examples, and that was on myinnercreative.com. And I saw a really cool layout done by Blaze Handmade, and I was inspired by that. So you can check that out if you're looking for more butterfly ideas. Okay, so we got this all traced now, and we're gonna do the next step, which is going to be painting just the right side. So we're gonna dispense our paint here, and we're gonna have fun using this crushed grape and this ruby red, and we're gonna mix them a little bit, I think, and get this kind of cool in-between color. so let's just go for it. And when I think about butterflies, I like the idea of like how translucent they are and how those individual cells within it look. And if you want to look at a real butterfly and have it be more realistic, you can do that. But I just wanted to keep this loose and airy and fun and more abstract. So I'm not too worried about it being exact. So I'm going to mix my crushed grape and my red, and I'm going to get sort of a pinky purple color. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, I'm liking that, sort of like a raspberry. Isn't that fun how that purple and that red kind of make a raspberry?
It's actually kind of tasty looking.
Yeah.
Makes me think of a jam.
Ooh, jam, yeah, that's cool. So I'm just gonna kind of loosely do some shapes with that color. And then maybe I want it like a little bit darker in there while this is still wet. I'm just gonna
get a little extra color pop.
Yeah, just, you know, you can kind of treat this like watercolor where you can kind of drop in some different values while it's still wet, which is kind of fun. So I like the idea of that one being kind of a lighter value. And I like the idea of there being some white space in here so you don't feel like you have to fill the whole thing. Now I'm going to bring in some purple because I know a lot of butterflies have kind of that prominent sort of dot shape up here. And I like the idea of that. I'm just going to drop some darker color in there. And this is just kind of a fun thing to just try and experiment with your paint and play around with the different opacities. You know, that's the fun thing about like not like trying to make it look like something exact and just kind of having fun enjoying your paint.
That's when the real art zen kicks in.
I don't know about that, but. And I just want this to be more red in here maybe. I've done this a couple times and it turns out different every time and I'm okay with that. And some of this water or paint is kind of laying on top, so it might take this a little bit longer to dry. If you use too much water and you're feeling that's happening, you can just dab your paintbrush and then pick up the more transparent color if that's what you're going for and just keep going. And I don't have like any rhyme or reason. I'm just thinking like, I kind of like the idea of this color being here. And I totally want a more deeper purple at the bottom here, so I'm gonna go for that. I had to dab off that water a little bit. So. And I might actually introduce a little bit of my gesso just to make that purple a little bit darker down there. So. Yeah. So since this is still wet, I can still kind of add some things in there and see what happens there. I think the fun thing about this is just kind of dropping in different colors and seeing them kind of change and move around. So we dropped in a darker purple on that lighter purple, and then we can drop in a little bit more red, so it looks like it's kind of integrating with that space a little bit, like that other color. Am I explaining that okay?
Yes, you are. I was just going to say, I like how those are blending in well enough.
And then I think I'm just going to fill in some like little cells there. I'm just winging it, you know? Don't be precious.
Classic.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize I made that joke. That's ridiculous. Winging it. You guys, we are winging it.
Totally.
Oh my gosh. Thanks for laughing at my joke that I didn't know was a joke.
You're welcome.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty. I'm liking that. Okay, I want some more of this purple and red combo that we were liking so much. That's kind of raspberry. But I think I still had a little black in my brush. So really make sure you got your brush clean. I'm gonna pick up the red and pick up the purple so we can get our raspberry color. And a little bit more red. There we go, there it is. Oh, so pretty. And you know, you don't have to have it all blended. It could be layered over the top, like whatever. It's all good. And I think this one's like more piecey, I guess, in shapes than the other one I made. So I'm gonna give some just bigger areas, maybe connect some of the places that we've got going on with.
Yeah, I like this one. This wing is really cool.
Oops. I like the idea of having some of that dark purple around here. This is probably going to turn out different than the first one, but that's okay. And if you got a lot of wet spots and you're wanting to go back and add layers, then you might need to let it dry at this point. But I'm living on the edge here. I think I want a little bit red in that one. Oh yeah!
Ooh, that looks good.
And maybe I'll push that red in there a little bit. And that's the thing, if you start with a lighter value and you kind of work your way up, then you can kind of warm up to those colors if you're a little bit like timid. And I kind of tend to be that kind of painter where I'll warm up to something and continue to add the contrast. But if you start out with a really dark value, it's hard, you can't take it away as easily the way that we're doing this. But it's all good. Like, it's gonna come together. It's a loose butterfly, so there's really like nothing major that you can do wrong at this point. It's just like, making it however.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of liking where this is at, so I'm gonna stop messing with it. I think I'm in a good spot.
Kind of looks like butterfly camouflage.
Ooh. So normally I would like hit it with a dryer at this point, but because I've got some pretty big puddles right there, I'm just gonna let it dry so I don't like blow that paint around. So take a break, get a snack, and we'll be right back. Okay, so that's looking good, and it's so fun to see that transition of color like that red to purple right there. I love it. So it's good to be patient and let that dry. Okay, now at this point we can add the black here, and maybe we can do some line work over here, and then we can kind of transition to the other side, which is like looser. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Looser.
What?
Looser.
Yeah. So I feel like it's like when you want to get looser, like the style, like you want to get the tighter part over here done first, so then you're kind of in that mode. if that makes sense.
At one time,
probably doesn't matter.
looser made me think of this. So this is on you that I'm about to tell this story. But I one time tried to call my brother a loser, and I added too many zeros. Excuse me, too many O's, and so I just called him a looser, and he turned it right back on me. You know, but that's what happens when you're the youngest and you can't spell.
Well, I mean, I'm the youngest in my family, and they're always going to be older and have more experience and smarter, and they're always going to let you know that.
So true.
Be a full-grown adult, and they're still like, oh, yeah, I don't really trust you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a grown-up. Okay, so I'm just filling in the body black here. I'm liking that. And then I'm going to just do some line work over this. Now you want to make sure that this area is dry, because if you do black over here, then you're going to have it bleed. And that could be cool, but I'm going for something different here. So I like the idea of this being looser and not like perfect. So I'm gonna come outside my lines and kind of in. And I think it'll be fun to do the outside of our wing first. And if you're like feeling like the lines are really tight, but you want a more looser, like what I do is I just, you know, when I'm trying to do detail, I'll get really tight and close to the tip of my brush. But when I'm trying to get like a looser line, I'll pull back on my brush a little bit, and that gives me a little less control, and I can get a little more like loosey-goosey kind of lines. See how that changes just your grip?
Yes, I like that.
And the more you press down, the harder or thicker your stroke is going to be, and the less lighter, like let's do a light line, the thinner it is going to be. And that's the beauty of a round brush, is that you can get these different things. And I'm going to just move my page and kind of get that going.
I like that a lot.
Thanks. Okay, now you could leave it like this if you like that. You could bring the wing all the way in like this. So we're really defining those two different, you know, wings a little bit more. You like that? So you can just kind of pause and look at yours and say, do I want mine to look like that, or do I like it how it is? Just giving you some options.
Thank you.
And then you could stop there, or you could keep going. I'm gonna do like a loose sort of loopy you know, like the individual cells in the butterfly. I'm gonna do that. And then I'm gonna do another one like right here. And you can kind of look at your colors you put down to decide where you want to stop those cells, so it kind of feels like that, like it was intentional. For example, I'm going to come in, I'm just going to do like a little loop right around this beautiful purple cool thing we got going on here.
That's nice.
Thanks.
Yeah, work with what you've already put down.
Yeah, so here I did like a line in there, but I'm actually kind of thinking I might change it for this because we got some cool shapes there. So yeah, just do whatever feels right for what you got.
Cool.
And instead of doing that line right there, I did it there because I wanted to have some of that white space within the cells I made. I think this is a fun way of like trying to get just responding to what's there and kind of starting to develop your own style and seeing like how to kind of respond. So that's
It's
what I
a
was going
great
for.
practice.
I was going for this, but if that stresses you out, then look at a real butterfly and just be inspired by that. It's whatever, you know.
I might have a real butterfly that we could look at right now.
Where?
In the vehicle that I'm driving today.
Oh my gosh, I had one in my car and I took it out, and I was really wishing I had one. Go get it, go get it, go get it right now.
I'll be right back.
I'm gonna keep painting. I said I'm gonna keep painting, and then I was like, well, maybe I want to look at that butterfly to see if I want to do anything from that. So now I'm just like, well, we'll just play with some of the lines we have here. I kind of want a looser line that comes off of this. I'm going to do that real quick. And you can play with the opacity too. Like that black doesn't have to be super stark everywhere. You can let it be light, looser and lighter in places and darker in others. It's kind of cool. All right, you got a butterfly for us?
I do.
I'm so excited.
Let me put my mic back on so you can hear me.
Oh, sorry. I started talking to him before he was mic'd
You're
up.
okay, you're okay. But this is not my butterfly, so I'm trying to keep it in really good shape. But I think you're going to be pretty impressed at how good of a condition it's in.
Oh, stop it. Should I just pick it up? Is that okay?
Yeah, it's okay. Just be
Oh
gentle.
my gosh, you guys, this is so cool. I'm so excited. Oh, look at all that black on it. That's making me want to kind of have some more. What did I do? Oh, can they see that on camera really good?
Yep.
Beautiful. Oh my goodness. I even like how he has little dots on his body too. I don't think I ever noticed that about a butterfly, that they have like markings on their body that kind of matches the wings.
Yeah.
Stop it, that's amazing. And it's so like soft. It almost looks like velvety.
It is extremely
cool.
soft.
Okay, so I like the idea that this one has like a little bit of a black edge. So let's just kind of play with that. And then we can use our silver dot pen to add some dots at the bottom. What do you think?
I love it.
See, we're not being rigid. We're just going with the flow here. And that's what this project is all about. I just think it's so cool that you have one, because I was like, Hannah, what should have brought that moth that I found, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I meant to, and I was all bummed out. No idea you had a butterfly in your car.
Very serendipitous.
Definitely. And then see that really strong line right there?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So maybe this guy should be.
Because I think they technically have four, like two wings looking, they look like two wings, but I think they have four wings. This kind.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
and
why
this is
that
1, 2, and
strong
then we have
line.
the 3, 4 on there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is going to come out a little bit different than like what I showed you guys that we were doing, but it's going to be so good. I'm so excited. So yeah, I'm just adding black here because I'm thinking that I want those dots from our silver pen in there and in there. Isn't it so cool that like art lets us see things with fresh eyes? Like, you know, when you think butterfly and you see them passing around your flower bed or whatever, it's like, oh, there's a butterfly, that's cool. But whenever you decide you want to draw something or paint it, you look at it with eyes looking for detail, and you appreciate detail that maybe you hadn't noticed before. Like today, I'm like, oh my gosh, I never noticed this and that about it. And I think that's one of the neatest things about being an artist is like, it gives us fresh eyes to see things that maybe we wouldn't, and it makes us grateful for like all these beautiful, amazing details in our world. I'm just so excited. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh my gosh, this is so fun. Okay. I did not intend for this to be like this detailed, but I'm into it now. Oh my gosh, this is totally different than the one that we did, and it's inspired by this butterfly, and I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that butterfly with us. I'm just going to lift it off, put it right there maybe.
Okay. Okay.
If you want to move it, or we can just leave it there until we're done.
We'll leave it there. It looks great.
Well, let's just put it where they can see it then. Oh my gosh, so cool. All right, we'll leave it right there and I'll try not to bump it.
Okay, that's perfect.
Okay, so we're gonna rinse our brush. And then on the left side of the page, we're gonna paint that looser butterfly shape. And we're gonna start with a lighter value. Just light, light, light. And I'm just going to add a little, I'm going to start with black and I'm just going to kind of go out like that. And then we'll just add a couple more colors to echo our butterfly shape over here. And I'm going to start with just kind of adding like the mirror half of that other part of the body kind of thing. And you can see here how it starts pretty dark in value, and then we're going to lighten it as we go. And you can kind of let it be loose, you know, like this part doesn't have to be perfect because it's the essence of the butterfly that we're going for now. Just the idea of like this unformed thing being formed or whatever. Am I even making sense? Oh my gosh.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Especially when you said the essence. That was perfect.
Okay, because I'm like, do I just sound like a crazy, silly girl, or is this making sense?
No comment other than you make sense.
Okay, so I have that lighter value, and now I can kind of drop in a little bit darker to define it. See how that's just soaking it up because it's already wet? Isn't that, oh, I love it. Love it. It's like when you do it in watercolor where you just add that.
It has a mind of its own.
Yeah, and you just kind of be okay with it.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm thinking that's a dark enough value for us there. And then we can start introducing, our raspberry. Ooh, my brush wasn't clean enough. And some of my paint is drying, but I got this raspberry color. That's what I'm gonna play with. And I'm just gonna drop some colors in there. And so that's gonna, oh, and I just dropped that color. That's okay. And you want to work fairly quickly if you want it to bleed in to each other. But if you're not worried about that and you want to do your own thing and it's still loose over here, that's fine too. But I'm just going to try to blend these things and give myself some wet areas really quickly that I can add some more colors over. Okay, and I definitely want a little bit of that purple. Now I'm watering that down because I don't want the value to be so dark. So that's all I want. And I actually might just kind of come in and soften that a little bit and let it kind of fade into these other things. Just don't stress. Like, this is going to turn into whatever it needs to be. So it's not looking just like mine. It's okay. It's just supposed to be fun, you know?
Totally.
Okay, so I'm gonna take that little bit of that raspberry and mix it with my black so I can get kind of a gray value in here. You guys, I'm having fun. Can you tell? I'm having fun.
Just going for it.
I did it the first time and I liked it, and then I was like, man, what if I can't do that again? Like, it's so funny how we do that as artists. It's like, number one, it doesn't have to come out the same. Number two, don't put that kind of stress on yourself. Just paint and have fun.
You're like, I know for a fact that I've done this already.
And it's still, so you have to know if I'm feeling like, well, I don't know if I could do that again. That's normal if you're feeling that way.
Totally.
I do want a little bit darker value right in here so that it will feel like it's fading out. So I'm going to add that. But it's nice to start out light so then you can make those decisions. You're not like, oh, it's too dark or, you know, whatever. And This is gonna have to tilt a little bit because I'm using so much water because I'm being like cautious about getting too much pigment in there.
That'd be a fun thing to do too.
What?
You could get it really wet and then tilt it and see where it goes on its own.
Oh yeah, you could totally take it when you did this and close your book and see if it does some kind of ink blot kind of thing. You could just do puddles and see how those go. Like you can do whatever you want. You can get crazy with this. I just want a titch of red in there because we have some of the red. The other one. I'm liking that.
Yeah, it looks great.
Just need a little definition up there. Am I doing okay with where I'm at on the camera?
Yes, you are. Okay. Your head hasn't been in the way. You've been great.
Thanks. Now I want, let's see, maybe I want a little bit more of that purple in that area. I kind of have a hard line with the dark there, so maybe I'm gonna bring that into this a little bit more. Because I like the idea of it being a little bit more defined and then fading out, and only can work if it is a little bit more defined in that area. Then I'm just gonna kind of push that so it fades. See, I'm just kind of pushing that into that space a little more. Yeah.
Very nice.
I think that's gonna dry cool. I'm excited. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Now, I think the other cool thing about this is having some of this lighter value, just kind of make the page look aged or whatever, so we'll do that.
Sweet, sweet. I'm excited for that, actually. I like that a lot. I've been looking at it the whole time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna mix a little bit of our raspberry color with a gesso, but just really light. Can they see that? Mm-hmm. I'm mixing that. Is that really?
Yep.
Okay. So then I'm just gonna come over here on the corner of my page and I'm gonna just do that. And I think I want a little bit more gray in there. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more gray. Whoop, not too much. Okay. That happens, you can just add more raspberry. There we go.
Easy fix.
I'm gonna hit that while it's still wet. And I liked having these kind of opportunities for different value because I felt like it also made this feel like maybe it was dissipating in its delicate sort of transparent transformation-ish kind of things that are happening. I don't know. It just felt right, you know? And if you're like, oh, that's too dark, or I don't like that line, it's too harsh, if it's still wet, you can kind of rub it back. Isn't that cool? It just like softens it immediately. Because we're working with a really light value anyway, so you can do that with that. So just bringing that in a little bit. And if it's too much, you can just kind of soften it. Yeah, just really, really, really subtle. Maybe I want this one to kind of come in more. Yeah, like that. And then I want a little bit coming in here, so we'll do that. Oh, while this other part is drying and doing some cool stuff.
Yeah, you're changing the look of that whole page again.
I just want you to have fun doing this and just feeling like Can't think about anything but this. If it starts not being fun, then just pause, take a minute. Because I realize it might be harder for some people to work looser like this. And so if you're that type of personality and this is hard for you, good job, keep going.
Power through.
Yeah. Because I just think it's so satisfying when you can trust yourself and just kind of see where it goes. Okay, so we got that one spot that's kind of wet. I'm just gonna like force it over there. Maybe that will help it. Ooh, that'd be cool if that line dried like that.
If it stays.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so if you got a puddle like I do, you might just need to give it a second to dry. So we'll pause and then we'll go on to our next step. All right, this is dry and I'm liking how that dried, like how it looks, because it does look different than it did before.
It does, it looks super cool.
Okay, so I think we'll do journaling and then we'll do some little flecks of spatter paint and then we'll come in and add some details with our silver dot paint. That's what we're gonna do. Now, I want you to think about what kind of quote makes sense or works for you for your butterfly. You could do, it's time for you to bloom, like I did on this one, or you could choose to do the quote that I did here, I am not who I used to be, and that is a beautiful thing. I personally love that, so I'm gonna do that again. But if there's a more meaningful quote about, transformation for you, like do it. And it can be however you want. You could do some lettering here, you can just write it straight. This is, make it yours. I'm just gonna go for it. Just gonna try to bend my paper back a little bit. When I dried it, it kind of buckles, but that's all right. I think those buckled pages of my journal just are cool because it's like, hey, I made some. Okay, so got our journaling. I'm liking that. Then I'm going to keep losing my paintbrush. There it is. Actually, maybe we do the silver dots first, because then if we do the spatter last, then we're not working around wet spatter. That's what we're gonna do.
That's a good idea.
Pro tip, spatter last. All right, so let's look at our butterfly again. And look at those dots, how they are around, and we're gonna do that with our silver dot pen. And remember, this dot pen, you can do a big dot if you press hard, or like a tiny dot if you press lightly. So I'm just gonna press lightly and get some of these little light. Oh my gosh, I love it, I love it. I'm so excited.
Butterflies' postures are very, very strange sometimes.
I love that. Okay, then we could do some bigger dots, silver dots in here. I'm gonna kind of elongate that dot because it feels more like a butterfly. Can you see this? Those ones?
Yeah.
They're not like perfect little dots. They're kind of, so you can kind of do whatever shape you want there. Then I'm gonna kind of put some more of those little dots around the edge, like we see on our butterfly frame. And then you can put some throughout. Like I think I want some more dots in here somewhere. Maybe one right there. One right there. One right there. Ooh, that was a good big one. I like that one. One right there. You can get crazy, put lots of dots or just keep it minimal. It's up to you. I kind of just like how it's a sprinkle like this one is. I think maybe I just want that part right there to be silver. You guys, there's so many opportunities to get crazy and make it your own. I love it. And let's do antennas. I didn't do that on the other example either, but we went rogue. So do whatever you want. The key to getting a nice thin line is holding it back and just making sure your pressure is not like strong. So just a light pressure. Nice. I'm gonna turn this. Whoop. Light pressure. Just hit the edge of that weird. That's okay. Because that side is kind of dissipating, do something. Oh, that's totally fine. Yeah.
And it kind of changed shape when you rotated it. To my perspective, it looked different on both sides. Super cool.
Thanks. You're a great art cheerleader.
Thank
really
you.
Appreciate it. Okay, so now let's get some black on our brush. And we'll do some little flicks of paint. I just think it kind of gives it movement. It's kind of fun. Now,
when we take that butterfly?
Yeah, I don't want to get paint on them. I'll wait for you to come get them before I get crazy. Okay, so the way that I like to do splatter paints is I like to keep my hand stationary and I like to hit my brush on my hand to kind of guide the dots. Now, make sure you don't have a computer or anything you're worried about around. We're just doing a little bit. Right here. Oh, yes. Perfect.
Ooh.
Right there. Oh, yeah. And see how it just kind of blends in with the dots and the sprinkles? I don't know. I just kind of love that. And you can do as little or a lot of this. It's whatever makes you happy. And I didn't water down my paint. I just got enough water where the pigment would still be dark, but it would splatter good. So let's just... Do we need any more anywhere, Keenan? Is that looking...
Not that I can see. Maybe in the middle, right above the antennas.
Oh, yeah. Well, there we go. We did it, y'all. I'm not who I used to be, and that is a beautiful thing. That was so fun and so different than this one, and that's what's awesome about these projects is kind of just go with the flow. It'll take you a new place every time, and you can totally do a couple different things to make this different if you want. You could use different colors if you want. You can try different shape wings. You could try doing collage like we talked about earlier. You could try doing a different type of lettering within that space. You could just do the whole butterfly, you know, this way if you're not liking this kind of dissipation of that wing. Just make it your own. And we love to see your art and what you make, and it inspires us in our community. So if you want to share your artwork at letsmakeartjournals.com, I mean, Let's Make Art Journals on Facebook. Sorry. This is like throughout.com out of nowhere. Or you can use a hashtag on Instagram if you hang out there. We love to see your art, and we love when you share it with us. Thanks so much for painting with us. We'll see you next time. Bye.